In this video, I want to talk about when you meet a girl, why you shouldn't ask for her phone number and how the use of the phone has affected modern dating. My name is Koloina and I am a dating mindset and self-improvement coach for ambitious people. Subscribe to my channel for tips on singlehood, modern dating, and self-improvement. For this video, I would like to tell two stories. The first one is about a guy that I met in the street. I was walking and suddenly there is a guy who approaches me who said something very kind, like, "I found you very stylish. I just thought I would talk to you." But the problem is I had an appointment at that time, so I was unavailable. And so he suggested, like, "Okay, can you give me your phone number?" I gave it to him. I found it very brave of him to do so. And he sent me a text message, which I never replied back. At least not yet. The second story is about a Hinge date, which is a famous dating app. And that man used to rely on the phone to draw the relationship out. Concretely, we would go on a date. For example, he would invite me for a coffee. And after that, I would naturally expect like an appraisal of the relationship because we saw each other in the context of Hinge with the clear purpose of dating. So I would expect where are we as of now? What do we do next? Should we continue to see each other or on the contrary, stop there? Because again, we are seeing each other with the purpose of dating. And so I would like to know where we are headed to. Are we actually hitting our relationship goal or on the contrary, getting further away from it? But the problem is he wouldn't suggest anything. We would simply leave the place and say goodbye. Which drove me nuts, if I can say, because we had a clear purpose, at least I had. And so at the end of the third date, where things were getting unclear, I asked him, "So what do we do?" Which he answered with a very vague, hesitating but smiley, "Well, I don't know. I will see. I will think about it calmly," which has created two things. One, frustration in me because, as I said, I needed direction. I needed to know where we are going. And second, suspicion, because I found it very disrespectful towards me, towards my time and personal investment, as I am a single woman over 30 who wants to get married. Obviously, I am not in a hurry, but time is ticking, so I want to marry and have kids. And so I found it inconsiderate, like subconsciously, he thought that I had plenty of time and that I could wait for him my whole life. And so through his fuzziness, he would drag the relationship out. I would leave every date confused. I was first confused about the relationship because although I knew that he meant nothing for me because we were just getting to know each other, we were in the pre-stage of dating. And so I knew that I shouldn't wait for him, like no one waits for no one at that stage. But he was still a potential mate for me. And so I was torn apart between those two positions in the uncertainty, not knowing how to view our relationship. And so it created stress. And second, because as an entrepreneur, we need a clear schedule. We need a clear plan of our week ahead. And so not knowing what we would do on the weekend, like not deciding actually, was an added source of stress. And so the whole situation was just a mess. But that mental mess, and this is what I want to say, could have been avoided if there was no phone, okay? Because subconsciously, the man relied on the existence of the phone, on the invisible connection induced by the phone, on that possibility of keeping the person from a distance at hand, which would create a lack of decisiveness and would drag the relationship out. He was not intentional about it. He clearly stated it, but he made me wait as a result of it. During the week, for example, he would text me like, "What do you do this weekend? What about having a coffee together? Let's go on a walk," which was really sweet of him. But again, it left me in a very fuzzy, foggy atmosphere of, we are just hanging out for hanging out. What's the purpose of that? Where are we going? Whereas, can you imagine, please, at the time of traditional dating versus modern dating, there was no phone, There was no way to contact the other person than through sending a letter or moving to the person's place by carriage or by foot. Space-time was so much larger, and so every step of the way in the dating process was actually an investment in time and energy, because there was much friction for long distance communication. There was no phone, no train, no plane, no car. So two people who wanted to date, they had no other choice than maximizing the moment of dating, than dating productively, by dating with intention, because they didn't know what the person could become, or if they could see the person again, because, I don't know, the person lived on the other side of the town, or maybe even in another city. They had no other choice. They were forced to decide on the status of the relationship now. Like, what do we do? Is the relationship worthy of us moving for it again, of walking miles and spending hours for it? So traditional dating was an investment. It was conscious and purposeful dating, which to me makes traditional dating the best way of dating, because it's very respectful of the moment and of the two people's resources, time and effort. The problem with modern dating is the emergence of the phone, of new technology. Although it's real luxury, it has created the luxury of creating meaningless connections and dates. It's easier to dial the person's phone number or even send a meaningless text message saying, oh, let's hang out together. But let's hang out for what? Whereas in the ancient time, people were so conscious of what they invested in the relationship, of the moment. They had to make the most of the date. Instead of seeing each other just for fun or just to see each other, traditional dating moved the ball forward. Either it's we decide to stop the relationship for good, okay, because anyway, we live at opposite sides of the city, or we decide to continue to date for a purpose. And at that time, the purpose was marriage. It was commitment. The problem of the phone is that it has made us lazy in dating. It has created an incredible lack of decisiveness in us that drags the relationship out and slows it down, okay? And that's paradoxical. We would think the phone would speed up our relationships, but actually it slows it down, because the advantage of traditional dating is that because it was purposeful, we had to take a decision, and decision only moves the ball forward. Either we decide to stop the relationship for good, or we continue to date, and so we date with purpose. The phone has allowed us to create meaningless connections and dates where we see each other for fun, or just to discuss, or just to see each other. Whereas again, traditional dating was conscious and purposeful dating that moved the ball forward. It was an investment for our lives. So lastly, I would like to encourage you. When you see a girl in the street, can you, instead of asking for her phone, do yourself a favor, challenge yourself, and ask her on a date directly instead, with the date and place. Do it as if there was no phone like before. And when you are on a date, please respect the girl's time. You owe her clarity. So give it to her by getting clear and expressing your intention towards her, because she deserves it. If you like this video, please give it a thumb up and also subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I see you on the next one. Bye.